1. For context, I worked at a hardware store in the Midwest called Big M. I was talking to this customer about getting a door that she really liked but couldn't pick it up the same day, but she could pay for. Alright, since you're unable to take home the door today, I'll write you up a ticket, and I'll put the door into our pickup area. That way you can pay now and pick it up later. We then go to the desk and get all her information for the ticket. Alright, here's your ticket. Just take that up front, and while you're doing that, I'll take the door to the back of the store so no one else takes it.
Alright, so should I take the door up front with me so they can hold it up there?
No, you'll have to pick it up in the back of the store since you can't pick it up today. The desk you'll need to go to is just right behind my department right over there. I point over to the desk where our pickup department is at.
But how will they know what door I'm purchasing and picking it up if I can't take it up front?
I show her how our inventory is arranged. On this ticket, your product has a number like every item in our store. Your item will get scanned in the pickup department to make sure it is the right item. I'm also going to be the one handling your doors, so I already know which product you'll be picking up. They will still double-check back there just to make sure everything is in order when you pick up the item.
Where do I pick up the item?
You'll go to the pickup department desk in the back of the store right behind my desk. You can also drive to the back of our store from the road off the side of our building. The gate guard will scan you in, and you'll drive up to where all the orange is. From there, someone in the pickup department will get the door from their storage area and load it up for you. Now I'm starting to get a little frustrated, but otherwise still calm.
Well, how will they know if I paid for the item?
If you don't pay for the item before the store closes today, then your order will be void and deleted from the system automatically. If that happens, you'll need to come back and get a new ticket.
So they'll put my order back on the floor when I leave today?
Now I'm starting to get visibly frustrated, only if you don't pay for it.
So I still need to take the door up front so they know what I'm purchasing, and then it'll get taken to the back.
Now I'm visibly annoyed and frustrated.
Is this hard for you or something? I don't understand anything you've explained to me.
Take the ticket up front, have the cashier scan it. While you're doing that, I'll be taking the door to the back so the people in our pickup department can get it ready for you when you're ready to pick it up. Once you're ready for pickup, you can either come through the front of the store and come to the pickup desk in the very back of the store and take your door through the front entrance. You can also drive around the back of the store from the road off to the side of the building. The guard gate will scan your ticket and receipt to let you in. Then you can drive your vehicle to the area in the back. From there, a pickup person will help you load the door. I highly recommend driving to the back with your vehicle. It will make everything easier for you.
Oh, okay. How will they know it's me picking up the item?
If they suspect anything suspicious with the person picking up your item, they will ask for ID to verify all the information is correct. And the person picking up is verified by you to pick up the item. If it is not you picking up, expect a phone call asking about the person picking up. Also, if you lose your ticket, we'll need an ID for theft prevention to make sure everything is correct. Our system will have a copy of your ticket as well to help with verification.
Who's going to be the one to load my items?
The people in the back will be the ones to load your item. I can't really give you a specific name because I don't have access to their schedule or who's assigned to the pickup.
Oh, okay, I see now. Thank you.
After this conversation, which lasted around 20 or 30 minutes, she finally left. I don't think she ever picked up her door either. 2. Any of the rest of you had this kind of experience? When I worked at what I will call the gas station bakery, we had a series of really fucked up bosses and assistant managers. It was a wild ride. And this was only over the course of about 2.5 months. Firstly, there was Icky Assistant Manager. The owner of the business franchise was actually okay, but one assistant manager was an absolute nightmare. His name was Daryl, which he hated. He expected us to cover for him when he didn't feel like showing up. He routinely insulted any employee he didn't like. He once told me, "The wheel's still spinning, but the hamster is dead," when I didn't understand something he said, and made it clear he thought he was way cooler than everyone. He got fired eventually because he was spending his cashier downtime drawing pictures of the things he wanted to do with female staff, who he thought were hot. Secondly, The owner sold the business right after Darrell was fired, and so the main company sent another boss in that had recently been rehired after a huge fuck-up, Ryan. He lasted a week. The first thing he did was force an employee who had been in a serious car accident to work, even though she had a concussion and a major back injury. When I saw her, she had 2 black eyes. Ryan told her if you didn't come in, she would be fired. That was the last time I saw her. Otherwise, during this time, Ryan was drunk most of the time, and had secretly asked an employee to help him start his car because he was on probation for drunk driving, and had one of those breathalyzer things in there that he had to breathe into in order for his car to start. Another employee found out and reported him. He got fired and also ended up in jail. Thirdly, the last ones were a team, and that's when I decided I had enough. There were 2 of them, Ty, the main boss, and Sam, the assistant manager. The first thing that happened, Sam was up at the registers, and I was back in the oven and food prep area, and heard him telling someone that he had balanced our books. He claimed no one had ever done it at this location before. It turns out what he actually did was cash out both the registers for some reason, even though there were others logged in on them, and that really messed stuff up for the people that actually were logged in. So anyway, I continued with what I was doing, which was making sandwiches. My job was partly in the bakery making all kinds of horrific food, and partly on the registers. I was mainly a backup cashier for when things got really busy, and I had pulled some crates over and was sitting on them. I have a spinal injury, and standing all the time is incredibly painful for me. I had cleared this with the previous bosses, and they supposedly told the company. But y'all know how these things go. Anyway, Sam saw me sitting down and stormed up to the office and started screaming, "She's sitting down!" And I mean screaming. His voice went way high, and when he was yelling, I looked over at him, and he looked like a pigeon because he was also pacing back and forth and flapping his arms up and down. Anyway, I mysteriously did not see Sam again after that. I'm guessing it was the balancing the books thing. The thing that finally made me quit was when I was back in the bakery, and I noticed there was a huge line at one of the registers. Since I was trained as a backup cashier, I went up to help. Immediately, Ty orders me off the register and told me to go back to the bakery. I pointed out the line, and he gave me the lecture about how the place he worked in before brought in so much money from their prepared food, and until we were making that much as well, I couldn't work the register. Like it was some kind of reward or something. Anyway, around this time I finally got another job, so I quit. But what a nightmare this whole thing was. 3. Okay, so the hiring process is a bit odd at this Costco. First of all, I applied for part-time. It says nothing on their website about seasonal. I get a call a few days after the fact about what position I applied for and was interested in. She goes on and tells me that they were hiring for which would be front-end assistant deli in bakery. I told her stocking was the only thing I was interested in. Her rebuttal was then to offer me time slots from 4 to 9 a.m. or 6 to 11 p.m. I accepted the 6 to 11 p.m. for night stocking. Okay, cool, fine with me. I go in for my first interview, and the front-end manager slaps down the papers for seasonal, basically telling me I have the job, but proceeded to ask me interview questions like, okay. We finish the interview, and she asks me if I'm available for the final interview, in which I said yes. A few minutes go by, and she comes back telling me that her boss doesn't want to see me because I need to quit my job in order to proceed for the final interview for a seasonal position. I called them a few days later and told them I quit. Seemed like an easy decision to me because my permanent job refuses to give me proper hours and I need money. Kind of desperate at that point because I'm going away in January. If I wasn't, I would have kindly declined the job offer. I got my third interview, and the guy who interviewed me started asking pointless-ass questions. Again, I already have a job. And then I mentioned something about my previous job, and he asked me about it. I said nothing. He then follows up with, "Why did you quit your job?" I responded with, "Because y'all asked me to in order to proceed." He seemed in disbelief and appalled by that. He kept bringing up, "You know this is a seasonal job, right?" Anyways, my orientation was Friday. I got there, The lady gives us some papers to sign, and on my papers it says front-end assistant. I didn't agree to this. I was told stocking. Like I'm trying to grasp, is this the same fucking job or what? 'Cause to me it doesn't seem that way at all. Also, this was the worst orientation I've ever been to. Literally signed papers, did a half-ass tour, and put us to work immediately. Even though the HR lady said to dress business casual. Fuck. Never did safety training, never gave us assigned lockers, no schedule, never told us when to start or even asked when we could start. By the end of the shift, the woman who ran orientation left for the day. I always hear good things about Costco, but this particular one is all over the place, it seems. Now I'm hounding these people down for a damn schedule. Ugh. 4. I work at the flagship location of a high-volume retail chain. Our checkout process is somewhere in between self and full service. People who are regular customers are used to handling their own checkout, but recently corporate has been pressuring us to take over scanning the items due to extremely high shrink and loss. So of course, to these repeat customers, the whole process now feels like we are hovering over them, and I don't really blame them. We always have a charity du jour, and customers can opt to add on a donation to their total purchase price at the end of the transaction, so we're always pitching the charity during our checkout process. Normally, this sounds something like, would you like to donate to such and such a charity today? Our holiday season charity this year is Toys for Tots. Today, however, my line manager got on the radio and instructed all associates on the registers that instead of asking customers if they would like to donate, she wants them to say, what would you like to donate, or how much would you like to donate today, because, she claimed, this would make the customer more likely to add on an extra $1 or $3 or $5. I was appalled. I recently got promoted, so I'm training some new seasonal associates myself, and I wanted to tell them to disregard her comment. Frankly, I think that sort of approach is so inexcusably rude and presumptuous, and I just flat-out refused to say this to a customer myself. But I didn't want to set a precedent for undermining her authority, so I just told them to use their best judgment. I should point out that all the stores are kind of in competition with one another to see which location can generate the most customer donations. And if I recall correctly, there is some sort of incentive for the store leads, although I sincerely doubt that it extends all the way down to the cashiers. Is it just me, or is this the tackiest thing ever? Believe it or not, this gets worse, tackier. Today I came in, and the same manager was literally shouting out the employees who had donated by way of a lengthy, repetitive, circumlocutory sermon. Example,
Yesterday, such and such donated $3. Way to go. And such and such donated $5. That's awesome. Let's keep it going, guys. Anybody can donate. Even if you work here, doesn't matter who it is. You can all donate.
So essentially making these tender-footed new hires feel obligated to shell out their own damn money to push the store to number 1. I cannot adequately express in words my abject horror. 5. Hi everyone from the good old southern hemisphere. My favorite time of year, busy with added pressure of decorating. With wintered themes in summer, snowdrifts and woolly-covered people in windows alongside swimsuits and sandals. I have a little vintage and retro store. It's only me here, and that comes with its own challenges, which I'm sure are universal experiences in some ways. Probably some regionally specific ones too. Today's story is my example of no matter what you do, people are rude and don't like it. With the qualifier that I'm pretty lucky with my customers. I get my share of weirdos and elderly chatterboxes, but for the most part I don't get too many rude people. Since it's my shop, I can do what I wanna, within reason. I've been trialing a new system, which is great for those days when peopling is too hard, by the way. I have a room out back with the screen for security cameras, which is in my office and staff room kind of space. So I'm out there when I don't need to do things out the front. Me and my dog hang out there, and I have a doorbell, of course, and I've put the obligatory bell on the counter at the front. To the side, but up the front, is a pretty clear view with a sign saying, "Please ring for service." so fairly clear. One would think anyway. My new system is to hang out more in the back with the camera feed, and then go out if I feel I need to, or the people look nice, or it's irregular, and so on. I had found people who walk up one side straight to the counter, not really looking, and want to chat. I worry I have an approach me face. I should frown more. This has been extra bad since the store with accessibility equipment has opened 2 doors down, and they got the council to put a mobility park in front of their shop, none of which I have any issue with, but quite a few of their customers are, well, a certain age range, and for the most part they're lovely, but there are only so many creative ways anyone could answer the same 4 sentences without being less than kind. Oh no, Beryl. I would never have supposed you had the same ones of those mass-produced kitsch items from 1955 that everyone else had. Tell me more. Would probably not be my best course of action. After the chat, people usually leave, so I thought giving them more time to browse without me standing like a retail robot, because I have nothing to do in that spot at the time but wait for activation, would be a good thing. For the most part it has been, and people ring the bell, and if I'm in that area I'm always busy so that I don't have to pretend to be a mannequin. I get more paperwork and backroom tasks done too. I monitor the monitor consistently, and I'm in a position where if there's movement and the bell hasn't gone off, I can see it. When they get close to the counter, I focus properly, and wait to see the motion of picking up the bell and ringing it, 'cause I can't really hear it at times. The doorbell is loud and clear, though. Today I had one of those customers. There's a spectrum of those customers, but they are all rude and entitled. I know it's going to be one of those, because they stand there trying to look around the corner with large dramatic movements. Let's call this one Gertrude. They also look to the door and back quite often with arms folded and maybe a watch glance thrown in. Some people in a subset of the customer Venn diagram call out. One's, of course, is not great, but better than repeatedly getting progressively louder. Gertrude being of the type to do all of the above and probably tapped her foot too. But do you know what they don't do? Yep, they don't ring the bell. Cue manager of exclusive boutique stereotype mode in my part, dog barks. I can't take you out before this time. I tell my precious pup, as I'm already past her and close to revealing my presence. I always smile sweetly and ask if I can help them. She immediately snapped. You weren't here, so I had to call out. Ah yes, I reply. This time I go to the extra sugary sweet tone. Oh dear, yes, I know. I was working in the office. It's always an office, by the way, guys, which is why I have the bell and sign out. I gestured to it. She actually tutted. Then did the slow, loud talking thing. How much are those? Gesturing wildly at 6 things. Oh dear, I say. You've picked one of the few things that aren't ready for sale yet. Braced myself for a continuation. Luckily, she said nothing else. Turned on her heel and strode out. While she was leaving, I dramatically moved the sign and bells to the middle of the counter with a firm placement down, and I walked out the back, calling to my boyfriend, who hangs out with me sometimes out the back. Oh hey, it happened again. I've moved it to the middle, you were right. Got back to my chair, and she had just walked out the door. The boyfriend was suppressing his laughter. I feel if they cross the line into rude, then I can occasionally be a little passive-aggressive and petty. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to the Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, episode 187. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please do poke the like button. It lets YouTube know you like the video. Okay, right. Oh yes, if you'd like to support the channel and get the videos a little bit early, then you can do so by supporting me on my Patreon, which is linked in the description. You can do that for as little as $1, or more if you'd like, per month. You'll also be able to get yourself some Hellfreezer merchandise by clicking on the link to the Hellfreezer Teespring store. And the other way you can support the channel, on a more one-time basis, is by making donations during streams or videos like this one, by clicking the little heart with the $sign in the middle of it below the video. While you don't have to do this, I very much appreciate it, and it very much helps keep me in hot meals. Okay, let's see. I don't think we have any other business today, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is: what is the weirdest food combination you've come across recently that you haven't tried but would actually like to? I reference this because recently someone posted on my Discord a picture of a pickled pizza. A very nice pizza, yummy looking cheese, and some sliced pickles on top. And I would very much give that a chance because I like pizza, like cheese, like pickles, so yeah, shove that in my face. Well, that's my answer, but why don't you let me know what some of yours are, should there be any. I look forward to reading your answers in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. Lots more work to do today. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.